I'd like to welcome for the first time to the program Ottawa Assistant Deputy Chief Sean Tracy from the Fire Services. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good to see you, and congratulations on your new post.
Well, thank you very much.
You've made fire prevention your life. It's been your career for
Correct.
the last 15 or 20 years. And that's what we're going to talk about today is Fire Prevention Week. One thing you want to stress more than anything, and I know we've been talking about this for years and years and years, is people developing a plan to get out.
Correct. We figure that on our statistics, fully 75% of the people do not have a home escape plan and have never practiced one. Mm-hmm. And what they don't realize is just how critical the moments or those seconds that it takes just to do that, because in the event of a fire, they will have less than a minute and a half from the activation of their smoke alarm to get out safely. Modern fires are not like they were 10, 15 years ago. We have so much junk in our lives, so much stuff, and it's all made with plastics and materials that'll kill you in seconds.
It seems like there's also way more opportunity because of what we use in our lifestyle and so on for fires to begin.
We have seen a decrease in the number of fires because of, products like we have new certification standards for a lot of materials, but you're right. We've seen recently now changes in lifestyle and culture where we have more candles.
Yeah.
We have candle fire instances. We have cooking fire instances.
More electronics.
Exactly. We've been a little bit more lax or lackadaisical in some of our fire safety issues.
Yeah. What do we need to do to develop a plan? It doesn't take that long, does it? And I'm as guilty as the next guy. I'm in the 75%. And like I was saying earlier, I live in a 3-story townhouse with the bedroom on the top level.
Well,
I got to have a plan.
We got to think about it. Just sit down as a family. Sit down, even as an individual, just look at what will you do in an event of a fire. When that smoke alarm goes in the middle of the night, you will have seconds to react. What would you do? What would your path be? And then what would be your second way out of any room that you have?
Right, right. My choices are limited, as are most people's, actually.
And if you take a look at that, there's options. Kitty and others have escape ladders, for instance, for a children's bedroom. When you're looking at that 3rd floor window, now, we don't necessarily want you trying to practice using those escape ladders, but have them available as an option, as a way out.
You can get roll-up escape ladders that are not very expensive, but can do the job for you.
They can be tucked away under a bed and then can be pulled out in the event of a fire because, as I say again, it's surprising how little time you have. And we see that anecdotally when people are talking about fires, just how fast they occur.
Yeah, and not only how fast they occur, how quickly they spread.
Correct.
Right?
And they're more deadly today than they ever were.
Yeah. Is it tougher fighting fires today than before, or?
Absolutely, because again, home standards that we have don't consider how they perform in a fire. So we have a lot of new materials that have been introduced in the homes. Fire services basically are being told, after 6 minutes from the start of the fire, the floors will collapse. It's okay if you're not home out of the fire by the minute and a half, that's not a problem. But the fire services are basically being told 6 minutes or less, the floors start collapsing. So we have very little window of opportunity that we can safely enter a home to try and rescue.
Right. I think your concern more than anything is to make sure people get out safely. Then you can work on saving what you can save when it comes to firefighting, right?
Exactly. For pennies a day, your theme this week.
You brought, yeah, exactly. Pennies work here in this situation. I know you have big sponsors that should get mentions, like the Home Depot and the folks from Kitty who put out these smoke alarms and so on, right?
And Duracell, of course, the copper top.
And Duracell, yeah.
All of them we would not be able to do our Fire Prevention Week activities nationally or even in the city of Ottawa without their support.
Right. So change your batteries. Use Duracell, of course. Change your batteries in your smoke alarm. Every 6 months?
We're talking about testing your smoke alarms monthly. Change your batteries biannually,
okay.
And as well change your smoke alarms every 10 years.
Oh yeah.
And there's a date on your smoke alarm that'll say when that's been manufactured.
No kidding.
10 years.
Wow. Good to think about. Listen, just sit down and like you say, make it a bit of a family event, right? To make a plan and talk about it in the event of.
And then walk through it. Just walk through it. That's all we're asking you to do. Do it safely. Just plan, because you will have very little time to react in a real fire.
Lots of information available. Safeathome.ca is one website, right?
Correct.
FPW.org is another, where people can check things out.
And we're launching this afternoon, Station 46 in Stittsville. Mayor Watson will be there for the launch of Fire Prevention Week in Ottawa.
Excellent stuff. Sean, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Kurt.
Sean Tracy is the Assistant Deputy Fire Chief here in the nation's capital. Something to think about, folks. And if you make a plan, I'll make a plan, and then we'll all have a plan. What do you say, Langer? Let's make a plan.